Talk a little bit about this Bluffton team from last year. What do you take away? Because you guys went 3-7, but you played a lot of close games. So what do you take away from playing in those close games where you came up just a little short that you can take into this year that might put you on the winning edge of those games?
Well, I feel like those close games just need to work a little harder, and this team is a lot more dedicated and works a lot more harder in the offseason than last year's team ever did.
Talk a little bit about some of the strengths for this Bluffton team in 2012. What are going to be some of the key points for Bluffton here in this upcoming season?
Our offensive line is a lot better than last year, and just our dedication all around.
As far as this team goes, Coach Kolkman's been down there for a few years now. So how is this? How are the expectations been raised, I think, for this Bluffton team? You got a nice new facility, and people are really expecting things from you guys.
Yeah, well, ever since Kolkman came around, it's not been like much of a party as it's been. It's more discipline and just knuckle down and get your work done.
What are you most looking forward to about this upcoming season for Bluffton?
Just to play my senior season, we're going to try to run the ball a lot, and I'm going to be up there blocking, hopefully. Pretty good.
You looking to play college ball somewhere?
Yeah, I'm looking at Rose-Hulman right now.
Last season, as I was talking with the Briar, you guys played a lot of close games. Unfortunately, came out on the losing end in a lot of those games with a 3-7 record. I wouldn't say a lot, but tight ones were a tough one for you guys. So how do you take what you learned from last season and put yourself over the edge in those tight games here in 2012?
We're definitely going to have our offensive line carry us to the win, and rely more on our run game instead of our passing game. So just make it a team effort, and that's about it. So.
As far as the offseason goes, talk a little bit about what's impressed you about this Bluffton team from the end of last season to now that's going to help you guys be more successful.
There was a lot of commitment in the offseason, in the weight room and just strength and conditioning wise. So we're going to have that strength and agility to carry us to the win.
Talk about the expectations, because with a nice new facility, a revamped facility, and Coach Kolkman coming down there and putting up some wins early in his career down at Bluffton, the expectation's been raised a little bit for Bluffton. So how do you take that on your shoulders and try to meet that challenge now that people expect more of this program?
We definitely want Bluffton to be known as a football school instead of just basketball, so we're just trying to have people in the community get behind us as we try to make more improvements, just keep having better records and eventually get to the state title.
Coach Kolkman, as far as this Bluffton team goes, talk a little bit about tight ball game. You guys played a lot of tight ball games last year, and unfortunately came out on the losing end of a couple ones. I know, right? How do you take that into this coming season? Whereas that experience will help you pull out some of those tight ball games.
That's what we're shooting for, and that's been our motto: is working to finish. Finding that whatever that is that helps you succeed in the fourth quarter. And so we started with us coaches. We evaluated game film and our calls and the stuff that we did in game and pre-game and leading up to those teams, and what did we do that didn't get us in a position to win. And once we did that, then we get that to the players and had them evaluate themselves. And so we've done the work in that regard to try and fix it. We've won a couple close ones. Last year we pulled off the Woodland game and they had us beat. And we had Southern Wells beat, and they came back, and then we came back, and one of the greatest games I've ever been a part of. And so we've won a few close ones, but then we had Garrett on the ropes, and they were ranked, and that would have been huge. We ended up losing by a touchdown. And we had AC beat. We had them down 20-14, and they scored with a minute left in the game and beat us 21-20. So you're right. It's been close games, which is what you're going to get. ACAC football is tough, hard-nosed ball. So getting over the top on a few more of those than being on the other end of it, definitely the goal.
Third season at Bluffton, if my memory serves correct. Is that right?
Yeah, third year.
So you've got sophomores, guys that were sophomores in your first year there, that have been in the program now. This is the third season, so they're used to it. The juniors have been around for a while. They know how you do things. Talk about how the program is being built and how these guys are prepared to take another step with this Bluffton program. They've been around you and what you guys do for a couple years.
Well, we've kind of been program builders, I think. Me and a couple of the guys that I've been with, Josh Clark and Eric Bennett. And we've found that the first year is probably the easiest. because nobody knows anything. And all they know is this is going to be better than it used to be. And there's a little bit of comfort in that, you know, ignorance is bliss, you know. What you don't know is a good thing. And then the second year it starts to set in of the work that needs to be done and what it's going to really take to sustain this success. And so last year was tough. Second year, I think, is always sophomore slump, whatever you want to call it. It's always the toughest year. So we're looking, like you said, kids have been around us now for multiple years. They know what to expect. They know we're going to be around. I mean, Bluffton went through, I think I was their third coach in 4 years, I think. And so you get a group of kids playing in that program, they're always waiting for the other shoe to drop, you know. And so now that they realize that we're not going anywhere, I'm teaching there. Coach Clark, they hired last year, they hired another coach, you know, in our floor, and they're like, it's comforting for the players, and it really lets them commit and buy in a little bit more.
Obviously, Breyer's a heck of a football player, so he's going to be a big strength, but what are some of the areas that you guys are going to have that stand out in 2012 and be the key to your season? And what are some of the things you guys are working on to get ready for August 17th?
Well, Breyer's a heck of a person. He's a quiet kid, but he's a big dude. I think he's 6'4", and he's trimmed out. He wrestled, trimmed down, bust his butt in the weight room. The best thing about what we got going on is our best football players are also our hardest workers. And, you know, I don't know, are we going to win 6, 7, 8, 9 games? I don't know. But I do know that we're going to have a good time playing football this year, because when your leaders are your hardest workers and your best players, things are going to be, at the very least, it's going to be fun to be a football player in Bluffton this year.